England 2, Panama 0, and we got the job done, I think is what you'd call that. It definitely wasn't by any means a vintage England performance. It was actually pretty slow and shocking again at times. But with that win, England are now through to the knockout stages of the World Cup, and we will be facing DR Congo in the round of 32, who I will get onto in my next video. And I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't great. I think for about an hour we thought it was like the Ghana game. Couldn't break them down, looked really shaky in defence, and I'll get onto that as well in a bit. England just are not playing with any urgency at this tournament so far, and it is a little bit worrying. But just after the hour mark, Jude Bellingham made it 1-0 to England with a pretty smart finish. It wasn't the greatest corner I've ever seen by Saka, but Bellingham made it a good corner. And I would say that settled the nerves of England fans, but I don't think it really did, because we looked so bad against the counter-attack of Panama. This is a team that Gareth Southgate beat, I think it was 6-1 or 7-1 or something like that a few World Cups ago, last World Cup. Not good enough. And then 5 minutes later, Bellingham again with some nice skill on the wing. Good cross into the box, and Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does and heads it in very, very well. But I can't sit here and tell you much more about the game, because that was actually about it. Right now, England are playing on moments, and as a Man United fan who used to be called Moments FC for a few years when we had Ollie, players who would do nothing, but they could also win you a game. This is what this England team reminds me of at the moment. And as we've seen, you don't win anything like that. So that, Thomas Tuchel needs to stop being a bit stubborn, I would say. I like the team he picked. It was definitely a team for the attacking output more than the defensive one, and it showed, because like I keep saying, we couldn't defend for shit in this game, but we didn't really attack very well either. And I would say that is a pretty big problem that needs to be addressed. It's that we're not moving the ball quick enough. There is not enough urgency in this team. Some positives: good to see Saka back on the pitch. He wasn't unbelievable, but getting him some minutes is good. And I'll get onto the player ratings in a minute, but I thought Elliot Anderson had a pretty solid game as well. Obviously new Manchester City player now. And with that win, like I said, England will top Group L, and like I said, we'll play DR Congo. So basically, we got to where we wanted to be. We won the group. We didn't win every single game, but Ghana was very tough. So a results way, you can't really have a lot to say about Thomas Tuchel and the way he's been setting up, but context is very key. We've not been playing very well so far. Now I'm going to get onto my player ratings. They're not great. Jordan Pickford in goal, I'm just going to give a 6. He literally had nothing to do, and the one thing he had to do, he was flapping at. So, you know my thoughts on Jordan Pickford. Jarell Quansah, I know he's not a right back. It was very poor. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Jarell Quansah to me is a player which I would not have picked for this World Cup. Liverpool got rid of him because they probably didn't think he was good enough. I've never thought he's been that good, especially not a right back. You can get away with something like that against Panama, because Panama, let's be honest, they lost every single game. They're not very good. But to me, Jed Spence has to play the next game. Jarell Quansah did come off with an injury, so it looks like he wouldn't be playing anyways. It's just so many injuries to this England team now. It's just beyond a joke, really. Mark Gahey, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10. Didn't move the ball quick enough again, in my opinion. And I think I kind of look to Mark Gahey as the senior England centre-back. I'm not seeing enough leadership at the back. I'm not seeing enough ripping the game up and just taking it to the opponent. See, I thought he wasn't great, and I'll also give Ezri Konsa a 5 as well. Again, moves the ball too slowly, positionally all over the place at the back. I don't know what they're doing. They need to talk to each other more. And this is my argument. This is why I said I would play John Stones. I think he's a better defender. He might not have the pace of the other two, but he's a better defender overall than the other two. Nico O'Reilly, I'm going to give a 5 out of 10 again. Quite disappointing, going the other way, going backwards. He's not a good defender. He made some decent late runs into the box, attacking wise, but to me that's not enough. You've got to be better defensively. And again, I think he was just all over the place. Elliot Anderson, I'm going to give him a 7.5. Solid. Tried to play the forward pass when he could. Barely loses the ball. I think that's another thing that people don't notice about Elliot Anderson. He's very calm and relaxed on the ball. When he's got the ball, I'm not really worried about losing possession. Jude Bellingham gets an 8.5 and my personal man of the match. Jude Bellingham is creating moments at this World Cup, and without him so far, we probably would have finished second in the group. But again, he is another player, and I will give him some criticism. He's not having 90-minute performances at all still. So that needs to change pretty rapidly. Morgan Rogers, I'd probably give a 6. Sometimes I didn't even know he was playing. Saka, I'm also going to give a 6. I will take into account, obviously, Saka's been injured. This is his first start for a while. He weren't bad, but he weren't great. Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give a 6.5. Started well in the game, but faded definitely towards the end. He is way more of a threat than Anthony Gordon, though, and hopefully that is the last we've seen of Anthony Gordon in this World Cup. And finally, at the starting 11, Harry Kane gets a 7 out of 10 for me as well. Took his goal very well, fair play, but apart from that, didn't really get involved in the game. But we're not providing him with a lot of chances, and I think like, that is another big problem in this team. We've got too many players that want to score the goals themselves and not give it to the guy who scores all the goals. You know, just pass it to the guy that's just scored like 70 goals in the league last season or some stupid stuff. As for all the subs, I'm just going to give them all flat 6s. So that's Eze, Spence, Jordan Henderson, Ollie Watkins, and Madueke. Didn't really come on, impact the game in a positive way. They were just like kind of just in second gear doing nothing. The fact that Jordan Henderson's getting on this football pitch still in 2026, I don't even know anymore. Kobe Mainoo might as well go home. Because what's the point? It's like Ruben Amorim's the manager or something. Finally, Thomas Tuchel, I'm going to give him a 6.5. We won the game, and that's why he gets the 0.5. Other than that, it was pretty bad. I said before this World Cup, I thought England had a good chance of winning it, but we're not winning it without defence. That defence is absolutely shambolic. So Thomas Tuchel needs to address that, because his teams normally are actually pretty good defensively, so I don't know what's going on this time. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the match, and how far can England get in this tournament. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Take care and peace.